Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to a new champion video. This is of Nilah. She'll be on PB potentially later today or maybe tomorrow. And we're going to be going over her abilities. So I will say a couple things before we begin. First thing is I actually recently left a meeting about this champion about 2 hours ago, maybe just under. And we actually had the two main devs that actually worked on Nilah talking to us about the champion, and we did a Q&A, so I actually have got more in-depth knowledge about the champion, and I'll kind of go over some of those things after we go through her kit. The second part is, unfortunately, and I can't say fully why, but we haven't got actual clips of her abilities. I've got little bits and pieces, and what I'll do is I'll bring them up on the screen when I can. But yeah, like normal, where Riot gives us the passive, the Q, W, E, R, all the clips, we don't have that. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it, but I think it's still useful to talk you guys through what she does, give my opinions on it, and also kind of give some insight from directly the devs, as I said, I've just had that developer meeting. And again, thanks to Riot for inviting me to those. It's always really nice. And yeah, I did ask a couple questions. I'll go over the ones that I asked personally, and other people had good questions too. So before anything, we'll go into her passive. But actually before that, let's just say she is meant to be an AD carry bot lane. She is crit scaling, and she even has things like her lifesteal scales off her crit. Stuff like that. And a lot of people will look at this type of champion and kind of go, what stops me laning in mid or top? You'll probably kind of get the gist of why it's beneficial to be bot lane pretty quick. So her passive is Joy Unending, and this is Nilah amplifies the healing and shielding abilities of nearby allies. Allies that heal or shield Nilah gain a bonus heal or shield for themselves. And when an allied champion heals or shields themselves near Nilah, she gives herself a bonus heal or shield. So just to explain, if she's laning with like a Lulu and Lulu shields Nilah, Lulu herself will receive a little shield. Or if laning again with Lulu, Lulu decides to shield herself, Nilah will actually get a shield, even though Lulu did not cast it on her. So that is kind of where the joint aspect comes in. And even to further that point, if Nilah last hits an enemy minion, she and her nearest allied champion will gain the normal amount of shared experience, plus half of the experience that would have been lost due to sharing. What that means, this potentially is a bit strong, she actually, with laning with a lane partner, gains more experience than the other AD carry. So the reason why I think they're doing this, by the way, is if it's not obvious by now, she is a melee AD carry. From memory, someone did ask what her attack range was, and I think it was 225, which is low. You know, that's like half of even Severe's attack range. She is basically melee. So obviously she's going to have a rough lane phase. Riot themselves said that against most matchups, her lane phase is not where her strength is. So to get her through the lane phase as smooth as possible, she's even getting bonus experience. Also worth knowing, because she is melee and she's going to be against ranged champions mostly, she probably will be missing some experience here or there, being bullied out of lane, being harassed out of lane. So that's kind of where they're trying that bonus experience to try and keep her relevant. So there's that. And now let's move into her Q, which is Formless Blade. So this has an active and a passive. So the active is Nilah's Formless Blade strikes in a line, damaging all enemies hit. Hitting an enemy will briefly increase Nilah's attack range and attack speed, and empower her basic attacks, causing them to slash in a cone and deal additional damage. Her passive to this ability is attacks and ability damage against champions, ignore some of their armor, and heal Nilah for part of the damage dealt. This effect scales with crit chance and converts any excess into healing into a shield. So when you get to 100% crit chance, if you go beyond that, all of it will go into shields. It will go into healing into a shield. So that is that. So she's crit based. I think Riot themselves said the kind of more standard build obviously is shield bow, because she is melee. She's having to go kind of all in. But they have toyed with the idea of Kraken Slayer into Bloodthirster. That build works also, but very interesting to say the least. All right, her W is Jubilant Veil, and this might be potentially her most controversial ability, potentially, but anyway. Nilah shrouds herself in a Jubilant Veil and briefly gains bonus movement speed, takes reduced magic damage, and dodges all incoming basic attacks. So basic attacks are auto attacks. Touching an allied champion hides them in the veil as well, but they'll be protected for a shorter period. So why do they have this ability? Again, this is where having the meeting with the devs was quite useful, because without the meeting, I'd kind of just go, that's broken. The reason why she's got it is, once again, she's AD carry, bot lane, melee. She's going to get harassed. And her weak matchups, Riot said, that were the high range AD carries, Caitlyn, Jinx, those type of things. And naturally, if she doesn't have this type of ability, she'll never be able to engage. She'll always have to be running face first into a bunch of auto attacks, and that's just, she's never going to be able to go in on anything. So that's why she has that ability. Do I think it might be a little bit strong, or it could be subject to balance? Yes, I do think, you know, it's going to be interesting, and I will touch upon her balance later, because that's actually a question I directly asked the devs about this. I literally said, do I think she's going to be balanced? And they did give an answer, so I'll go over that later. But there's that ability. Her next ability is E, Slipstream. So Slipstream lets Nilah dash through a target unit, traveled a fixed distance every time, and damaging all enemies she passes through. And she can store up to 2 charges at once. So think of this pretty much as kind of like a Yasuo E, and it behaves very much the same way. That Yasuo can't obviously E over a wall by choice, but if an enemy is just standing the other side of the wall, Yasuo can use his E and he can get over that wall. This is exactly the same, but it's different because she can just, you know, Yasuo can use his E on a very small cooldown on different targets, and the individual targets go on cooldown, where Nilah, she can store up to 2 charges at once. And then cast a Formless Blade during your Slipstream, so your Q, if you cast your Q during the E, to pull a wave in your path, dealing damage after a quick delay and granting Formless Blade enhanced basic attack effect. Again, very similar to Yasuo. The way that they kind of spoke about it is with Yasuo's EQ combo, that when you have your third Yasuo Q, the Tornado, but if you are Eing, during your E, if you press Q, you do the whirlwind around yourself. This is exactly basically the same thing. While you're in E, you press the Q, you'll get the wave. It all kind of happens near automatically as long as you're pressing the abilities at the right time. And then the ultimate is Apotheosis, Apotheosis or something like that. Nilah unleashes a surge of power, lashes her whip in an area around her, and with a final burst pulls enemies in towards the center, which again is not normally an AD carry thing, bringing people in, but that's where she's a bit different. And it heals Nilah for part of the damage dealt, and converting any excess healing into a shield for her. And this effect scales with crit once again, and is granted also to nearby allies. So that is in essence Nilah. Again, it's designed to be an AD carry bot lane. I will say she's cool. And one of the biggest things, you know, that is the champion itself. And now I'm going to get into kind of like some of the Q&A, some of the things people bringing up. The biggest thing that people bring up straight away is, isn't this just Samira 2.0? And the developers, and obviously they're going to be pretty defensive about the champion. They've developed it. They've been working on it, by the way, for 9 months. Someone did ask that question. And 9 months is the standard amount of time for a new champion. They said it is different. Naturally, they are obviously going to say that. But the way that they defined it is Samira is an AD carry with skirmisher qualities. Nilah is a skirmisher with AD, whichever way. Yeah, Samira is an AD carry with skirmisher qualities. Nilah is a skirmisher with AD carry qualities. That's the way that they defined it. So there's a slight difference there. They also play a little bit different, is what they said. And just to kind of go over the basics, she's a late game monster. She's power scaling. Obviously with crit, she wants to get probably at that 100% crit chance. So that's like 4 items potentially. She doesn't have the double crit thing that the Yasuo brothers have. So she needs to get like 4 items, maybe even 5 items. But she has the late game prowess of like a Gwen, is what they said. Very strong. She also has decent amount of healing because it's ingrained in her kit and her item build naturally. You know, if she goes Shield Bow, Bloodthirster, these items also have healing on them. Her lane phase, she isn't an aggressive laner, maybe unsurprisingly, because again, she's having to play defensive because of the melee range difference. And she is completely fine with going neutral in lane. That's kind of her aim. Her aim isn't exactly to win lane. It's to go neutral to get through the lane phase as painless as possible. And to get kind of to that point of, hey, I'm now really strong. A couple of questions that people ask. So let's go over the one that I said. I was like, do I feel that she's going to be balanced, or do I feel that she's going to need tweaking? And basically what Riot said, the developers, were, we're not going to be completely surprised if tweaking is needed. But honestly, I think that's an answer that pretty much every new champion developers will just say, because that's the nature of new champions. A lot of them are strong, to say the least, maybe on purposely strong, as we've all said before. Another question I asked was, even though she has the, you know, the shared XP and the joint, you know, allied healing and shielding thing, will people try her in other lanes, and are you okay with that? And basically, they will be balancing her to as a bot laner. If they see an outlying build, you know, people are taking a top or taking a mid and it's too strong, they will nerf that down, and they want her to be bot. Another question someone said was, because obviously she is a bit of a weird AD carry, it's kind of like, you know, Yasuo modern day made actually as a bot laner instead of the average mid lane Yasuo. Are Riot trying to potentially open up the bot lane role, the bot lane at least carrier role, to be more champions, like to have more variety? And the answer to that was yes. They actually said, you know, they've been trying to do that in most roles for quite some time, and they even quoted the support role that they made Pyke, who was very different. He's an assassin support. They made Senna. She's an AD carry, but support. And obviously Nilah is an AD carry as a carry, but completely different to the norm. So yes, they are trying to open up the role to other play types, and I think that's fine. But yeah, and then if I can go over anything else, again, I was given like a whole document, but I'm not allowed to specifically share the document, but I'm allowed to pull things from it. So over the screen in this video, I imagine I would have been just bringing up some things over the top. I think I'm allowed to say yes. I believe yeah, I believe so. She's launching with Star Guardian, her skin. There is a new Star Guardian event coming, obviously, if you did see the new trailer to that. So she is getting a Star Guardian launch skin, which is cool. But yeah, so that is the champion. Also worth knowing, if anybody cares about lore, all Riot said, and they were being very secretive about it, so I imagine maybe something is happening down the line. They wouldn't tell us exactly where she's from, but what they did say was she's from a region that isn't in the game yet, or hasn't had representation yet. Obviously, it's from, they've said it was in the East. I'm sure Neatcrete knows all about this. And some people were rumoring that she might have been one of like the demons, like Shaco. Again, I think I'm allowed to say, but she's not a demon, but she's made a contract with one. And, you know, Fiddlesticks, they said it's like Fiddlesticks, and there's 10 of those demons. We know that. Fiddlesticks is one of them and stuff like that. She's probably made a deal with the Demon of Joy. That's what a lot of people were like. Maybe she was the Demon of Joy. No, but she's made a deal with the Demon of Joy. That's what people, and that's what it seems to be. So she will be on PBE. I can see, where is it? I just had it. She'll be on PBE on Wednesday, June 22nd. So the launch of this video, she'll be roughly on the PBE. And then she should be live roughly July 13th. So that is pretty much all that I've been told. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to rip some of the GIFs and stuff, because again, we haven't got gameplay. I've got no sounds, I believe. It will just be GIFs. Hopefully I'll be able to bring some of that up for this video. Sorry, it's a bit of a bare bones kind of video, a bit lackluster, I know, but this is what I could work with. It's all I had. And yeah, she's interesting. Of the, you know, I think all I will say, because a big question that I always ask myself when a new Champion Elite comes out is, will it blend into the game? I think so. I don't I don't see her as a not a League of Legends champion. I definitely see that she would fit in. Do I think that it's going to be widely accepted? Are people really going to play melee AD carry permanently with this champion? That's where I'm a bit skeptical. Like, to me, this is the type of champion that's either going to go really well and should be popular and will be great for years to come, or she could turn a bit into a rel because of a bit more unique playstyle. It's a bit different. Yeah, you'll always have the dedicated mains, but is she going to be mainstream? I'm not sure. Again, I will be playing her myself over the coming days. We'll give her a go. We'll do our standard Twitch viewer games, and I'll upload it here as my first impressions. So expect that, and that is the type of video that I'll be able to kind of sense, will it be more mainstream potentially or not. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do smash the like on the video. What I will say, we may as well do a bit of a giveaway. And for those that made it to right to the end of the video, I'm going to say it right here, because obviously it's not been the best champion launch video because I haven't had the footage. So a big thank you to you if you made it to the end. What we'll do is we'll actually give away the champion. So whoever wins by subscribing, liking, and letting me know what you think of the champion, and also put your summoner name and region in the comments so I know who to obviously give the champion to. But I will gift whoever wins the champion on launch. So if you want to enter that, again, be a subscriber, like the video, comment what you think of it, and include in your message your summoner name and server. But that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Please do press that subscribe button. As always, it does help out. And adios, amigos. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal peace.